can't believe it's actually here. It's pretty wild, man. Just 3 years ago, I was showering at the Y and sleeping on the office floor. And now, obviously, I've got a $1 million car and quite a few creature comforts. It's just a moment in my life.
What if the most powerful innovator on Earth today isn't just building cars or rockets, but rewriting what it means to be human? Because love him or hate him, Elon Musk isn't just making products. He's bending reality. So here's the real question. Is he a visionary dragging us into the future, or a modern-day tyrant playing God while we clap from the sidelines? Because Elon Musk isn't just building Teslas and launching rockets. He's doing something far more unsettling. He's shoving the human timeline forward by brute force, while society sits back, scrolling quietly, wondering whether to clap or panic. If we're going to debate him, we have to understand what makes him fundamentally different. Most billionaires are born into systems that already exist. Musk builds entirely new ones. He doesn't play a role in industries. He swallows them, reshapes them, or invents them out of thin air. Space travel used to be a patriotic government flex. Then SpaceX showed up, blew up rockets, almost went bankrupt, got mocked, and somehow came back to land them vertically, like science fiction lawn darts. Today, SpaceX sends more payload into orbit than every space agency on Earth combined, rents out flights to NASA, and has rewritten the rules of aerospace faster than the textbooks can catch up. Automotive used to belong to century-old titans, Ford, Toyota, GM. Then Tesla went from a joke to $1 trillion humiliation, dragging the entire global car industry into an electric future years ahead of schedule. Suddenly, nations and titans who once laughed at him were forced to play catch-up. Volkswagen rewired its entire production pipeline. Ford begged Wall Street for forgiveness as its stock slipped into embarrassment. China, once accusing him of arrogance, is now copying his gigafactory model city by city. Even Jeff Bezos, once sitting comfortably atop Amazon, ditched books and warehouse logistics to chase Musk into space with Blue Origin, a rivalry so fierce it moved from boardrooms to orbit. Musk didn't just disrupt sectors, he reprogrammed the behavior of his wealthiest rivals, proving true innovation doesn't compete, it infects. No lobbying, no committees, just brutal execution and a refusal to accept that's impossible. And that's just the surface. He deploys Starlink, an orbital internet constellation that nobody asked for, until it suddenly became vital to troops in Ukraine, villages in Africa, and emergency communications across the globe, effectively turning Musk into a borderless telecom power overnight. He unveils Neuralink, a brain chip company that isn't trying to make gadgets faster. It's trying to melt the line between consciousness and code. Depending on who you ask, that's either the cure for paralysis and memory loss, or the opening chapter of a sci-fi nightmare. All of this, plus tunneling ventures, humanoid robots, solar energy, and now xAI, his own artificial intelligence firm, none of it arising from inherited power, royal titles, or government appointment. But from a South African kid who coded his first game at 12, sold his first company, Zip2, in his 20s, co-founded the company that became PayPal, cashed out, and instead of retiring, volunteered repeatedly to suffer in public for something bigger. At this point, people stopped calling him an entrepreneur and started calling him something more loaded: a disruptor, a revolutionary, a narcissist, a savior, a sociopath. Pick your poison. But the world's reaction tells you something more important than any product roadmap. He's not operating at the level of business. He's operating at the level of human myth.
I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit?
Look at how government leaders now treat him. They don't legislate him. They negotiate with him. NASA, DARPA, Pentagon, EU regulators, presidents, they all orbit around his momentum. Because whether we love it or hate it, Musk has turned himself into a sovereign individual, a state of his own, powered not by armies, but by innovation so aggressive it bends reality. And that leads us to the disturbing part. Is he truly the last innovator? Or have we, collectively, become too comfortable, too risk-averse, too politely domesticated to produce another one? Think about it. Whether we like it or not, Musk has also hijacked the culture. Teenagers aren't just dreaming of becoming influencers. They're discussing colonizing Mars. Meme pages aren't just comedy. They're geopolitical battlegrounds, where Musk can shift markets with a single emoji. Among Gen Z entrepreneurs, phrases like move fast, break things, and embrace chaos aren't slogans. They're belief systems sparked by watching this man gamble everything in public. He proved that insanity, plus internet plus execution, equals power. That cultural shift alone may be his most underestimated invention. Innovation used to be inseparable from obsession, pain, loneliness, sacrifice. Today, we want disruption with minimal discomfort, a balanced lifestyle, a standing desk, mental health days, and a unicorn valuation by year 2. We praise hustle from the safety of ergonomic chairs. We want revolution without inconvenience. We demand change, as long as it arrives inside 48 hours and doesn't delay brunch. Meanwhile, Musk is chewing glass, as he famously puts it, risking collapse, ridicule, divorces, sleep, sanity, entire fortunes, and doing it publicly. Is that courage? Ego? A glitch in the matrix? Or is it the last flicker of true innovation before the system sterilizes it completely? Because here's the truth people ignore. You don't get migration to Mars, electric global dominance, orbital internet, brain-machine fusion, humanoid robots, and AI super labs from someone worried about being liked. You get them from someone willing to risk being hated, feared, and occasionally worshipped. That's the paradox. Musk triggers Messiah syndrome in some and apocalypse anxiety in others, precisely because he is pushing the species past its comfort zone. And while we're debating his personality, he's quietly accumulating exactly the kind of power we used to fear in kings. No elected president enjoys that level of technological reach. He answers to no parliament. He bows to no political cycle. He builds, he breaks, he iterates, and the world reacts. So, is that what innovation looks like in the modern era? Or is it what domination looks like, dressed up in a lab coat and a black t-shirt? Some call him a necessary evil, the only man crazy enough to yank humanity into a new age. Others see him as a dangerous outlier, whose unchecked ego might trigger unintended consequences we can't reverse. But maybe the scariest question of all isn't about him. Maybe it's about us. Maybe Musk stands alone not because he's too big, but because we shrank. We lost our appetite for pain. We chose convenience over conquest, comfort over chaos, entertainment over excellence. We call ambition toxic. We call masculinity problematic. We call conviction arrogance. We want everything, so long as we don't suffer. But here's a darker nightmare. Most people don't dare say out loud. What happens if Musk stops? What if tomorrow he steps down or burns out or simply dies? There's no clear successor. No public institution is positioned to continue his pace or philosophy. SpaceX momentum would slow. Starlink could fall under government pressure. Neuralink may get choked by ethics boards, and Tesla, already struggling without him at the wheel, might revert into a normal automaker. If innovation has been bottlenecked into one personality, then his end isn't just a retirement. It's the possible stalling of humanity's entire forward motion. So the question isn't, will Elon Musk go too far? It's, when will anyone else dare to go far at all? Because if we've reached a point where it takes one reckless billionaire to drag an entire species forward, then perhaps innovation isn't just rare. Perhaps it's on the verge of extinction. And if that's the case, then yes, we may very well be watching the last true innovator operate in real time. So, what are you going to do with that unsettling knowledge? Drop your verdict below: visionary, tyrant, or necessary evil? And if this triggered you, frightened you, or flicked some ancient spark of hunger inside your chest, don't just share this video. Start becoming the reason someone debates you. Because history never belongs to the loudest critic, only to the boldest builder.